Dr. Stewart, to the counselor, Mrs. Stewart, to the administration, to the teachers, and to the students. Thank you for inviting us here today to talk to you about life, not death. We're talking to you about life. We have some things to share with you to prevent you from getting in this box prematurely. Don't you ever believe that you don't end up in the box. Everybody out here, when we look at you as funeral directors, we have buried people just like you. Your age, your gender, your hairstyle, your left, your right. However, we have buried people just like you. We gave you some bags, and we want to share with you what's in those bags. First of all, we have a little book here talking about Brenda Scott and Brenda Scott Academy. Before it's over, we want you to read through this book. We want you to keep this book. We want you to place people at your table that will help you get to the next level where you want to go. There are people in your life that is negative, that's blocking what you have in the frontal lobe of your brain. And you need to get those negative people out of your life. This booklet also tells you about what college you think you want to go to and a list for you to put people that can be at your table. Now understand what we mean by the table. It ain't what's on your meal. The plate that makes your meal is who's sitting at your table. And you have to put the right people at your table to help you get to the next level. You can have a gourmet meal. You can have a steak, potato, and a salad. You got the wrong people at your table. That's indigestion. You can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Put the right people at your table and you can dine good. So we want to talk to you today about who to put at your table so you can get to that next level where you need to go to life. Now let's face it, there's another alternative. You can end up in prison or open casket shop. Either one, we get paid. But what we'd rather you do is come the other route where you can become educated and productive citizens in this country. Now we also have here, now I know you're just coming out of middle school. You got to go to high school, but this is a book here that we're going to share with you, and it talks about college. It talks about HBCUs. It talks about the universities, what the tuition is, what the courses they have. And what we want you to do is focus on this book. Because if you can focus on this book, high school ain't no problem. Because you're going to go right through that high school trying to get right here to this college, and we're going to help you get to that college level. We also have in here an ink pen. Now while you're in school, in middle school, you write with a pencil. There's a reason for that. Get the wrong answer, you got to erase it. But in life, when you get ready to sign your check at the bank, you got to have an ink pen. And so we want you to get accustomed to this ink pen so you can sign that contract when you become a rapper, when you become a basketball player, or whatever you want to do. That's what the ink pen is for. And we also have a piece of paper in there that we want you to write down things in your life that you need to get out of. People in your life that you need to get them out your life who ain't helping you get to your next level. And then we're going to open up this casket. I knew I'd get your attention there. And we're going to put all that in the casket, and the military is going to come in here and we're going to bury all those things that you want to get out of your life. I want to introduce to you my boss, the lady who owns James H. Cole, Miss Carla Cole. I know she doesn't look like, a lady who owns a business that's almost 100 years old, but that's her. She looks like a little girl, doesn't she?
Good morning.
And we also have Bryce Green, which is the fourth generation. This is Miss Cole's son. And he's taking over the reins when Mama sits down. And he's going to share with you what he looks for when he's getting ready to hire somebody. How do you go after your job? What kind of uniform do you wear? Okay, he's going to come and he's going to share with you what he sees and what you need to see. We have another young lady on her way, and she doesn't want me to say this, but she embalms people. And so she wants to share with you what she sees inside out your body. It ain't always the violence. It's your entertainment habits. It's your eating habits. It's the fact that we're burying young men with old men diseases. Do y'all mind if I take my jacket off?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Got you, brother. He said, take it off. I got you, man. Now, do you know why I asked? Do you know why I ask you?
Because you here.
Because I'm in your house. And when I come into your house, before I take anything off, I need your permission. When you go looking for that job and you walk in that man's office, don't be taking your coat off until he gives you permission. You in his house. Don't even sit down until he offers you a seat. Because he knows if he's going to hire you before you ever open your mouth. He's watching you. He's watching your mannerisms. He's watching what you do before you say anything. So, thank you, Brother Man, for allowing me. Now, let me get into my little speech so I can scare y'all into doing something that's right. I'm not going to be here long. Not a long time today. I really just want to talk to the students, teachers, counselors. Y'all can listen if you want. But I want to really talk to the students that's in front of us. I bought a friend of mine. His name is Henry. Will y'all say welcome to Henry? Henry, sometimes it's tired and doesn't want to sit in any more classes. Sometimes it's hard to wake up in the morning because it doesn't want to go to school. You understand, Brenda Scott Academy, that this brain is the majestic accomplishment of human creation right here. Man is still trying to figure out this brain here. He hasn't been able to figure it out totally yet. The capacity, this brain has a computer. It's like a computer, the capacity of the Empire State Building. Now, you may not know where the Empire State Building, but it's about 150 feet higher than the Renaissance Center. You put all that together, and if you had a computer that large, it holds it right in here. This is more valuable and larger than a computer the size. Right now, this thing simultaneously manages your nervous system, your circulatory system, to make sure your blood flows evenly. It makes sure your lungs breathe. It makes sure your heart beats. It allows you to walk, talk, breathe, chew gum, all at the same time, right here. This one magnificent brain never sleeps. Even when you sleep, it never sleeps. If it goes to sleep, karma got you. Your cerebral cortex is right up here in the front. Your cerebral cortex right here, your frontal lobe right here. You have the cerebellum, you have the cerebrum, you have the medulla that comes at the base here. See, he's falling apart. And it keeps everything together. Your brain, let's say it together, cerebral cortex. You need to remember that. This cerebral cortex in the brain, say it again, cerebral cortex. Henry wants you to know that even while I'm talking, this cerebral cortex is in full bloom. It's working.
So they just said if the brain
Even though
the brain is dead.
you wonder why they call a funeral director here today. And some of you have said a funeral director, when you saw that casket, you went, ugh. But there are others of you who are really listening to see what this funeral director in this funeral home has to say to you to take you to that next level. Your cerebral cortex is taking all of that into consideration. What I say, what I do, and what you're watching is coming right here on your, say it, cerebral cortex. Every word I say. It never forgets. Everything that comes into this cerebral cortex stays there. The most important thing of our whole presentation. Because if it doesn't forget what you put in it, you better be very careful about what you put there. Because it stays with you for the rest of your life. Now when I say it stays there, let's say you a junkie and you shooting up with some dope. And one day, for whatever reason, you no longer want to shoot that dope. You may even go to prison. You may be in there 20 years, and you never have any more dope while you're in prison. You may change your life and never ever mess with that dope again. But because it's in your, let's say it, cerebral cortex, it stays there. It's the recall. Okay, so you driving down the street now, or you walking, and you see something that reminds you 20 years ago when you had your high. You may walk across a friend and walk and talk, and it reminds you of what you did 20 years ago and how it made you feel. You may hear a song on the radio. You haven't had dope in 20 years. But because it's in your cerebral cortex, it never leaves. The recall is there. And now all of a sudden, it's as though you ain't had a fix in a day, and you get the cravings all over again, just like you've been a junkie 20 years ago. Because it never, ever forgets. And so you have to come up with reasons and ways to prevent you from relapsing into your junkie mode again. Now you married, you got kids, you got a good job, and here you are, you need a fix. Be careful at this age what you put in front and into your cerebral cortex. Y'all, you ever see those white lines in the sky where those planes are flying back and forth? You see those on a sunny day? All those jets up there, you see them streaking across? Those jets are in an air pocket up there that are jets to protect the United States so that no one ever flies into a building again. They got their own airspace. You can't get in that airspace. If you get in there, they're going to shoot you down. But if a plane, if a Delta plane, if a Southwest plane is in trouble, and they put out that quiet code that somebody's about to hijack them, the code goes up to those planes, and they'll come down and they'll converse on you in that plane. They will force you to land, and if you don't land, those planes will shoot you down so that you never run into a building again. We call them the police of the sky. If you look up there around the holiday, let's say Thanksgiving, you see more of them up there, those things going around, because that's when everybody's flying. Just like America protects her borders and her sky, you have soldiers in your body that this computer regulates. And so if you get a cut, all of a sudden an alarm goes off. And your soldiers in your bodies, they're called red and white corpuscles. The alarm goes off, they go and they attack the germs that's coming into your scratch, your cut. They coagulate the blood, they make it stop bleeding for you. They put a scalp on it so it can start healing, and they protect you. This computer protects you from the germs coming in. But let's say you're a junkie, and you hide, and you cut yourself. The alarm goes off. But just like you hide, hey, what's happening, man? See, he couldn't walk fast if he wanted to. He can't talk fast if he wants to. You've seen those junkies. When the alarm goes off, they may answer it, and they may not. Hey man, the alarm is going off. You want to get it, or you want me to get it? And nobody gets it. And therefore, when you watch a junkie, he can take that cut that you and I would heal in 2 weeks, and it's gone away. 3 months, it's infected, it's swollen. You see their hands with all puffed up and everything. They are the hardest bodies to embalm. The junkie. Why? Because the computer controls your circulatory system right here. And it's for blood. It's not for drugs. So when he starts shooting here, pretty soon he got to shoot over here and over here and over here. What he's doing, he's killing the veins and the arteries in those bodies, and the blood can't flow. And when you come to us, man, we can't put fluid in you. You already embalmed yourself while you living. The hardest to embalm is a junkie. Anybody have any questions? Because I don't know if y'all going to sleep or not. Y'all mighty quiet out there. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Don't get too still on me now. We'll put a toe tag on you. You will never rise higher than your self-esteem, than your self-worth. There was a guy who was big and clumsy. He had big feet. He was 6 feet tall in the 6th grade. He couldn't play sports. He was too tall and clumsy. He couldn't run. He wanted to go play basketball. They told him he wasn't a good basketball player and go someplace else. But he didn't take that as a no. He went and found another guy. And this guy he put at his table and said, just teach me how to play basketball. Everybody tells me I can. The guy took him under his wing and taught him how to bounce the ball, how to run up and down, how to play the game. When the coach left the high school, he went to a college called Louisiana State. And when he got to Louisiana State, there was this clumsy kid who was 6 feet tall in the 4th or 5th grade. He couldn't play with the big guys because he didn't have the maturity. He couldn't play with the young guys because he was too big. But by the time he come out of high school, he was almost 7 feet tall and could play and could shoot the hoop. All the colleges wanted him. But he remembered the coach that taught him and took care of him, and he went to Louisiana. Nobody ever called and told Shaq that he couldn't play because they could not convince him. And there you had Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan couldn't even get on the team. But he didn't take that as a no. Gladys Knight was kicked out the choir in Spelman because they said her voice was too heavy. But then she became Gladys Knight and the Pips. Whatever your self-esteem is, never allow anyone to tell you what you can't do. Now, I know I'm boring y'all silly. I'm getting ready to sit down in a minute. This house here is not for dummies. Brenda Scott Academy are for academics. And if you're not here for academics, need to leave. Never allow anybody in this house to convince you to go into the lavatory for a 30-second beat down so it can go on YouTube. That's not what we do here. This is a place for academics. Now y'all want to get that out? Y'all want to laugh and get that out? Because I'm going to tell you, in the 4th and 5th grades of your life, depending on what your grades are like, they determine how many prisons they're going to build. And depending on what your grades are like, if you're passing, then they look and see how many colleges they're going to build. Now understand, if you get into that beat down, that 30-second beat down, if you disrespect your teachers, if you go and you're going to steal something from somebody, then the students here who want to learn, the faculty here who want to teach you, they have the right to ask you to leave, and you've got to go. Where do you go when you leave here? There are people out there who will want to get in here to be in the seats where you are. Now, my brother, I know you're laughing over there, you think it's funny, but I'm an old man. I bury you at your age. Those who are outside trying to get in. So, if you're going to put somebody at the table to help you get to the next level in that book, it has from middle school. The best people for you to get are the people around you right now. There are teachers, counselors, who spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and they have a vested interest in you getting to the next level. Take advantage of them, pick their brain, so you can get where I am today. If not, we can sit there and make you overcast the shop or send you some cigarettes to prison, either one. We gonna get paid. We can give a parade, let you go up and down the street, put the lights on, put flags on cars, go through red lights, beep, beep, we coming through. Your girlfriend's gonna come there and cry for you while you laying in the casket, you gonna miss it all. And when we drop you off at the cemetery, your girl, she going home with your boy, and you'll miss it all. If you end up going to prison, all your boys who are with you now, ain't none of them coming to court to be with you, and they're not coming to prison to visit you. You can sit here and laugh about what we say, but we bury you. We see you going to prison, and none of your boys are coming up there to see you. They can, they got warrants. Okay. What we would like for you to do is start working together with all these faculty members around here, because they have your interest. Now, if you want to go the other way and you're not going to stay here, there's some students here that want to stay here. And what they're going to do, they have the right to ask you to leave. And there's a whole lot of people that got their back. If you leave, it's okay, because there's another one waiting to take your place, to matriculate in this place to get to another level. Now, if any of you wrote down some things in your life that you want to get rid of, people in your life, things that you've done in your life that you're ashamed of, write it down on that piece of paper and let Mo pick it up. Mo, pick it up. Anybody who has some, and we're going to open up this casket and we're going to put it in this casket so we can bury those negative things in your life and give you an opportunity to start all over. You cannot be defined by your things in the past. Now, we have a program at James H. Cole that's going to help you get into college. All you got to do is let us know. And we have mentors, we have tutors, and we have ACT testing and programs to help you get your grades up to get into college. All you got to do is ask. Now you can sit around here and be tough if you want to, and you want to impress the girls, but see, it comes to a point where you got to ask people where the party is, but when you get at my age and you get what I have on, you don't have to ask where the party is. They come to you and they invite you to the party, and you have a right to say no, one way or the other. All we want you to do is take advantage of the people here who are here to help you. The security in this place is not against you. Therefore, people who are trying to get in here to get you. They're here to protect you. The teachers here got a vested interest, man. Don't you know how much money they spend in college just to teach you and help you get to the next level? Y'all better take advantage of it.
And I'm one of the morticians at the James H. Cole Funeral Home. I was about your age when I figured out what I wanted to become when I grew up. And a mortician, some people call us funeralers, some people call us embalmers. Today, I want to talk to you about a couple of things I see. First, let me tell you, I graduated in 2008 from Wayne State University. And from there, I went to James H. Cole and I did my internship. And after my internship, I became a licensed funeral director. And Ms. Cole hired me as an employee. Now, one of the things I do at the funeral home, I'm an embalmer. And what embalming is, it's a technique where you introduce fluid into the body, he or she of the deceased, to preserve them to have a funeral. And for their loved ones to see and friends. So, on this particular day, I came into work and I noticed a young gentleman on the table. And I looked at his paperwork and it said that he had cirrhosis of the liver, mild cirrhosis of the liver, which means he drinks. It said that he smoked, which means his lungs are pink, healthy. They're black, tarry, gooey, and nasty. And that just affects everything. He must have coughed it out. And the other thing I noticed is it said he overdosed from taking ecstasy pills, or some people call them Molly's. I know you heard of that. And I look at his toe tag, it said he was 16 years old. And that disturbed me because when his mother came for the first view, she was so sad, and I was sad for her. And she showed me all of her son's awards. She showed me how he was a math whiz, he played football. He just had so much more going for himself. But he was at a party where drugs, alcohol, and other illicit drugs was there and illegal things. And that caused him to overdose. And he was dead at 16 years old. He will never get to see the things and adventures that you go through life because of drugs. It's not worth it. And unfortunately, someone lost a son, friend, nephew, cousin, whoever he is to different people. So I said to myself, wow, all of that gone at this age. And you don't need drugs, you don't need sex, you don't need alcohol to have fun. You need your diploma, you need your trade or whatever you want to do, and you need your degree, and you need your brain. And that fries your brain, just to say what Royce here said about the drugs. Another quick story, another girl, she was 18, beautiful, a model, she did some commercials. She seemed as she had a promising career, but she contracted HIV/AIDS from having unprotected sex. It's not worth it. Love yourself enough to say no. These things we see on a daily basis, and we want to be in the business to bury great-grandmothers, grandmothers, and things of that nature. I know accidents happen, but you can prevent this by being in your books, watch where you hang, watch who you hang with, because everybody that says they're your friend, they're not your friend. Your friend is not going to introduce you to something that's going to harm you. Going to school, And even if you want to pursue something else that doesn't consist of school, do something positive with your life. Because if you move too fast, you may break things, meaning your future. If you move too slow, you'll miss things. But if you move at a pace and enjoy your childhood and who you are and the age you are, you'll enjoy life. My name is Carmen Stewart, and I am a mortician at the James H. Cole Funeral Home.
I know you like that, didn't you, man? We're going to bring up Bryce Green. Bryce Green is, he's our newest boss. And he just got out of more school. And he has an awesome responsibility of taking our company to the next level. He represents the 4th generation. His great-grandfather started it, but he has an awful task, a heavy burden on his shoulders to try to come out and take a company of this magnitude to the next level. I'm an old man. I'm old enough to be his grandfather, but I recognize he's my boss. And so he recognized that I have things to contribute to him, but he's my boss. That's a lesson that you have to learn in life. These teachers are much older than you, but they got the experience. Pick the brains. I keep asking you, not telling you, ask you, pick the brains. So as an old man, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna let another young man come along.
Wake up! I don't know if the microphone is working. You guys seem like you're I just got a couple of notes I want to make. Let you guys know and really let you know how serious things are. As Mr. Royster said, my name is Bryce Green. I am, along with my brother, continuing the 4th generation of James Cole Funeral Home. We started in 1919 and have been in Detroit ever since. We've never left, never stepped outside of Detroit, and we always will be in Detroit. We'll always be here for the community, for people just like you, for your parents, your grandparents, your children, and your grandchildren. It comes a time where when you look at people that are your age, your middle school kids, you're about to go to high school, you're about to start into a life where things really make a difference, where every choice that you make will follow you from here on out, no matter what you do. Being that my great-grandfather started the funeral home in 1919, and my grandfather took over or joined the funeral home in the 50s, there's a giant legacy that me as well as my brother have to live up to and that we think about every day when we come to work. And that legacy continued in 1991 when my grandfather passed and my mother had to take over. I was 7 years old, my brother was 8 years old. From that day on, from July 31st, 1991, my mother did not have a day off except for Sunday, maybe, if she didn't want to say, you know what, I have to be at the funeral home because I have to help these people. Or I have to go to the office real quick because somebody needs me. That's the same way your teachers are. It could be a Sunday, it could be their day off. They have to say, wait, I have to sit down and do this because my kids need me. Because I can't leave them or lead them astray. I can't do it. It's the same responsibility. No days off for my mother, no days off for your teachers and the administration here. It comes to a time that when my mom took over, she also had to live up to a great reputation. And great battles of people saying she's a woman. She can't do it. She can't do it. She's a woman. This doesn't work. Yes, it does. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're male, female. If you can do it, if you have the drive to do it, then do it. It doesn't matter what you want to do. When she took over in 91, she's been going 20 plus years strong. And I think she can do it. Honestly, I think she can do it better than most males could have done it or would have done it. When it comes down to wanting to do better for yourself and going to a business or even owning your own business, education is key. As Mr. Royster talked about Shaq earlier, Shaq said, it's not how much money you make, the question is, are you educated enough to keep it? If you make $10 million and say, I'm going to go buy a $5 million car and a $4 million plane, how much does that leave you with? Million. And that million is taxed. You give that to the government, now you're broke. Now what? It doesn't matter if you're a basketball player, a football player, if you own your own business. If you're not smart enough to keep your money, it's pointless. You might as well go sit on the street and just wait, because you're not doing anything. When you're here, when you're in school, you're educating yourself and you're bettering your life. Your 8th graders, when you go to high school, you're making a decision on what high school you want to go to and why. What college should I be looking at and why? What do I want to do? You could throw a rock and hit City Airport from here. Do you want to be a pilot? Do you know how much pilots make? Do you understand that all you have to do is get a degree and accumulate flight hours and you can fly a plane? You don't have to go to school and be an aeronautical engineer if you don't want to. Go to school and major in business. You know how to handle your money. Get a flight instructor and earn your hours. Now you're a pilot. Now you're making more than most people that you even know. It comes a difference when you make decisions. Like Mr. Royster said, the job comes and it's funny when you own your own business, because then you have to hire your own employees. You're not just sitting there at the job talking to a coworker saying, oh yeah, I wonder who's coming in next. No, you have to hire your own employees. When somebody comes in for an interview and says, hi, I'd like to be hired here, and they have on a hoodie and jeans that obviously don't fit because I can see your underwear from across the room, I'm not going to hire you. Why would I give you a job? If you're going to put on a suit, if you're going to look like me, Mr. Royster, my mother, Carmen, if you're going to look like anybody professional, that's how you have to be if you want to get a job. It's not going to work any other way. If you come into the funeral home with a hoodie and jeans on and I can see your underwear from over here, why don't you go back on the streets? Because obviously you're either a street person or you want to be. So go ahead and leave. Put on the proper attire when you go out into the world. Girls, this is for you especially. Don't allow somebody to come up to you and say, hey, what's up? Where are you going? Hey, what's up? I guess in today's world, can I hit it? It doesn't work like that. Put some clothes on. Do not allow anybody to think less of you. If you come up, if somebody came up to you like that, I guarantee you would tell them, get out of my face. Don't give them the opportunity to get in your face with nonsense. Don't bring anything upon yourself that you don't want. That goes how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you speak. There's no reason why, if you can speak articulately and you have a good vocabulary, that you're a sellout, or that you're weak, or that you're somebody who you're not, or, oh, I guess you're not black enough because you speak properly. That doesn't flow. It doesn't work. In the real world, you have to be able to speak in order for people to respect you. When people respect you, they don't come up to you with stupid stuff. They don't get in your face with nasty comments. Think about that. It comes when everybody, raise your hand if you have a Facebook, Twitter, anything. Raise your hand. Every single one of you has now put stuff out into the universe that you can never take back. Ever. No matter what it is. And guess what? I'm going to find you. Because if you come to me for a job and I go on Facebook and I look at your name and I see pictures of you with liquor bottles, shaking them in the air, or a joint that your boy gave you because you think you're cool, you're never going to get a job. Ever. Because guess what? Now everything is on the internet. Anything I want to know about you, I can pay $29.99 for and I'll know it. I don't know if you've been to jail. I know if you have a juvenile record. I'll know everything about you. And as Mr. Royster said, if you were involved and you were disciplined at school and it went as high as going to the police for a 30-second act of cowardness, 30-second beatdown. Is that what they call it, 30-second beatdown?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Oh, okay. Because back when I was in school, if you had a problem, it was either face-to-face with the person you had a problem with, you either spoke about it, or somebody shut it down. Period. I will know about that. Because when you have a juvenile record, it doesn't just magically disappear into thin air. It follows you. It goes right along with you. And that's something that you have to think about as well. The last thing that I'll say to you guys is you're at the age now, make mistakes. Do something wrong. Make a mistake and then go back and fix it and don't do it again. Make the mistake. Do it. It doesn't matter. If you don't make a mistake, you're never going to learn from it. You're never going to move forward from it, and you're never going to be able to carry on from that. It comes a time where you're either going to be putting pieces of paper in this casket, or we're going to be putting you in the casket. Would you rather it be, you know what, let me just get this mistake out of my life now, or would you rather be laying in the casket? Because while your mother is crying, you can't comfort your mom. While your father is saying, what did I do wrong? You can't tell him, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. It was just me. I thought it would be cool to go smoke weed and to try to go rob somebody. You can't comfort him. You can't comfort your siblings and tell them, look, it was my fault. Don't do what I did. Don't do it. Because guess what? They're going to think, hey, my big brother did it. That looked cool. And he was hard because he died. Let me go do it. And now you've killed your siblings too. Not only have you influenced and wronged your own life, but now you've ruined the life of people you love, people you know, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and you're not here to stop it. All because, yeah, it's cool, I'm going to go ahead and steal something. Yeah, this is cool, I'm going to go ahead and have a drink. Oh, a blunt? Really? Yeah, pass it this way. No, it doesn't work like that. All right? All 8th graders right now stand up. Raise your hand if you know what high school you're going to. Keep your hands up if you already know I'm going to college. Now look at everybody else in this room that's sitting down. All the 8th graders. Look at everybody else in this room that's sitting down. They are following you. Don't be the one that leads one of these people down the wrong road because you won't use your mind. All you have to do is think. All you have to do is recognize my actions have consequences.
Beautiful, for heroes proved in liberating strife. Who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, sing it something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties, over the fruited plain. But now wait a minute, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned our good. Yes, he did. Every brotherhood from sea to
The steward, this flag represents to you, the administration, to the teachers and to the students of Brenda Scott Academy. This military unit is the honor guard from the President of the United States, Barack Obama. It represents not only the President, it represents that the four branches of government, the armed forces, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and the Coast Guard. This flag represents that all the police agencies of the United States government, be it FBI, be it DEA, all the state government police officers, be it the Michigan State Police or Mississippi State Police, be it all the county, be it Wayne County or whatever county in America, and your local police department, we got your back. We are here to protect you from the president on down and every student in this building from any outsider who wants to come in here and prevent you from learning. Just like if there's anybody in this building that prevents others from learning, we back you in removing them from this building. If they cannot respect this building, if they cannot respect the teachers, everybody in America, from the president on down. So when you walk around this building and you see this flag flying, understand that it comes from the United States military, it comes from the people of the United States, and it comes from the president. We got your back. So be it. Thank you.
Did you enjoy that? Let's give a round of applause.